especially in Kitabu of fiqh, it is usually described by classifying it into two categories. We have a Niffaqul i'tiqad and we have Niffaqul amali. Niffaqul i'tiqad, it literally means Niffaq that has to do with our what? With our creed. In other words, Niffaq that is based on your faith, on your iman, on your belief. That is Niffaq of what? I'tiqad. Then Niffaqul amali is the Niffaq that is based on your actions. So, and this is actually attempts or effort of the scholars. When they look at the hadith and the verses of the Quran that talk about it, they say that we can actually classify Niffaq into two. The one that has to do with our belief and the one that has to do with our action. And the one that has to do with belief, this is the type of Niffaq that Abdullah and his people fall into. And this is the type of Niffaq that is described in many places in the Quran. But the Niffaqul amali, it is described in the hadith of the Prophet in a number of places. There is one hadith of the Prophet, he said, Ayatul Munafiq. He said the signs of the Munafiq, there are three. In another place, he said there are four. When he speaks, he lies. When he makes promise, he breaks. When you entrust him with something, he what? He breaks. In another place, he said when he fights, he goes beyond the limit. So in other words, when somebody lies, when somebody breaks promise, or when somebody did not fulfill a trust or give by a trust that is entrusted unto him, it's actually the demonstrating act of Niffaq. And if you look at this quality, and if you look at the definition we have said, especially literally, that is to say, nobody should feel saved from Niffaq. During the time of Sahaba, during the time of Prophet, the Sahaba, especially Umar, they didn't feel safe that they are not Munafiqun. When we mention Munafiqun, today, like we are sitting, and many of us, we believe or we assume we are not Munafiq, and we cannot be Munafiq, because we know we are what? We are Muslim, isn't it? But that was not the same way the Sahaba and the Muslim of that time. That was not the same way they believed on the thing. They were afraid, despite the fact that they know they were Muslim. They were afraid, what about if they have committed a crime or they have committed a sin unknowingly and they may get to fall into what? Niffaq. And this, do you know the irony of our life? We habitually and routinely we act or we do some deeds that are actually actionable deeds of Munafiqun. Yet we believe or we assume we are far from Niffaq. Is that not ironic? So like we talk about lying. It's an action. What type of deed is that? It's a sign of Munafiq. Do we know, can we imagine how we lie regularly? Some people lie habitually. We lie at every given opportunity. And we don't see it. In fact, some people see it as wisdom. They say, that guy is very smart. Lie, you see the way. Now lie they are praising for. They are praising for lie and they say it's smart. And Prophet says it's a sign of Munafiq. How many of us still have trust? How many of us have amana? When we are given amana, how many of us discharge it? Amana is not until when a material or a concrete or a thing is kept with you. No. Even a speech, even a story, even somebody's secret that is kept to you. Didn't you reveal it? Didn't you expose it? Didn't you tell it to another person? So it means you are not trustworthy. That's another sign of what? Munafiqun, according to the hadith. And how many of us that when we fight, we go beyond the limit? Somebody that offends you, and you say you are forgiven, till the end of your life you'll be insulting the person. Till the end of your life you will be telling everybody about what he did to you. See that person, do you know what he did to me? And you have already settled the case. If you know what he did to me. And sometimes maybe he has even paid you back. Maybe you have already taken your right from him, but you will never stop exposing him or talking about him or saying all sorts of things about him because you believe he has wronged you. Whereas you have taken your right back. This is a sign that you are going beyond the limit, and that is a sign of Munafiqun, according to the hadith. So in other words, nobody should feel safe, especially this our generation, especially this our time. We exhibit quality of munafiqun more than anything. Don't misunderstand me. I did not say we are munafiqun. I said we exhibit the quality, the characteristic. We lie regularly. This is just 3 or 4 of the quality. If we continue to be talking about the quality, we see that in one way or the other, we might have fallen into this quality at one time or the other. Or some people, it is even their habit. So when Prophet Muhammad, when he kept the names of the munafiqun with Uzaifa, he kept the name with him. He's the one that kept the secret. Umar is aware that the name has been kept with Uzaifa. Then he went to Uzaifa and asked him, I hope my name is not among them. Do you know this man Umar is asking? He knows himself that he is a mu'min. Umar is actually a great mu'min. How many times the Prophet praised him? In fact, in the Quran, according to the scholar, there are about 25 different places that Umar will have muwafaqat. Muwafaqat means Umar will give an idea. He will give a few about a particular incident. The Quran will come from heaven, from the 7th heaven, and he will stamp it. He will confirm it. That this thing that Umar said, it should be done that way. Like Allah said, what that is doing Maqam Ibrahim. So it was Umar that first gave that advice. Then Allah sent down a message. The issue of hijab, it was Umar that first said it. This same Umar, he did not believe he cannot be a munafiq. Despite his uprightness, despite his righteousness, despite his obedience, despite his worship, he never assumed or believed he cannot be a munafiq. But we, despite our deficiency, despite our disobedience, despite our what? Our lack of righteousness, we believe we are not munafiq. You can see the irony of our life. All of us, we are deceiving ourselves. That is actually satanic trap. Wallah is a trap from Shaitan. Because when Shaitan wants to destroy you, he makes you to assume you are far from what you are doing. So that you will not feel disturbed, you will not feel uncomfortable doing it. And you will die on it. And you will be responsible. You will be held responsible. Wallah is very dangerous. And another advantage of somebody not feeling safe or not assuming that I am not part of them is that it will make you to be watching out. In fact, when you are about to fall into mistake, you immediately remember that I should not do this. But immediately you feel safe and you think you can never be part of them, it will be very easy for you to fall into that mistake. And if you go back to the literary meaning of the word munafiq, so in one way or the other, we would have been committing sins or committing offense that will make us to be exhibiting some of the quality of munafiq. You know, we said the word munafiq is derived from the word nafaq, which means a tunnel that has two opening. If you as a human being or as a person, if you pray to Allah or you want something from Allah, and you ever assume or think that if you do not get this particular thing the way you think it's going to come, then you think of an alternative way that is different from the way from Allah. That is the same meaning of that meaning. It means you believe there's an outlet, there's another assistant that can come from somewhere else, apart from who? From Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Quran used different words to actually describe the munafiqun. It used different words. One of the words it used is the word munafiqun we are talking about. So among the words it also used is what? Alladhina fi qulubihim marad. So the greatest marad, the greatest disease that can be in somebody's heart is Niffaq. If you have Niffaq in your heart, every other heart disease will come. If you fall into Niffaq, before we go, Niffaq itself, it doesn't come like that. It actually comes as a result of another problem. Like Niffaq of Shaitan, it came as a result of what? Arrogance and feeling of superiority. And that is the same way we had the problem of what? Abdullah ibn Salul. Because he believed he should be superior, he should be king. There's somebody that came yesterday, it made king. It's made king. And the problem we are having in the world today, everywhere in the world, it actually started from the opposition of the Yahud against Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And the origin of their problem with Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is jealousy. And they later turned to Muhammad. They became monotheistic. And their problem was that they were expecting the last prophets to be sent among them because they are used to it. Right from Prophet Musa up to the Prophet Isa, thousands of prophets of Allah were raised and sent to mankind. It was from them. All from Banu Israel. Then Allah have told them, all the prophets that have come before them, Allah have told them, He revealed in this book that a prophet is coming at the end of time. But Allah did not tell them from which lineage, from which tribe. But it is mentioned, the town and its quality. Its human quality was mentioned. In fact, his name was mentioned. The word Muhammad is mentioned in Torah. The word Ahmad is mentioned in Injil. Like Allah mentioned in Surah Al-Saf. And Allah also mentioned in Surah Al-Araf. الذين يتبعون الرسول النبي الأمي الذي يجدونه مكتوبا عندهم في التوراة والإنجيل. Those that follow the messenger, the prophet, that is the Ummi, that they found written. It is written. His name is written in Torah and Injil. In fact, the name is known to them before it is known to the Arab. Before it is known to people of Mecca and Medina, the word Muhammad is known to the Banu Israel. Like Allah said, the name is written in their book. And they have the book 600 years before Allah raised Prophet Muhammad. Between Prophet Isa and Prophet Muhammad, there is 600 years between them, the factor between them. And before him, Torah has been existing for about 1,800 years before Prophet Isa. And the name is already mentioned here. So they have been saying it, Muhammad is coming at the end of time. When Prophet Isa came, Ahmad is mentioned clearly, and they have also been saying it. And they have seen the sign. Even when Allah sent Prophet Muhammad, they saw all the sign of prophethood in him. Allah mentioned Surah Al-Baqarah. Allah said, "Ya'rifunahu kama ya'rifuna." They recognize Prophet Muhammad the same manner in which they recognize their children. Can anybody make a mistake in identifying his child? It's very difficult. Child you give birth to, you have been living with him until he grows, then you cannot make that mistake. So Allah said that the same way they can identify their child, that's the same way they can identify Prophet Muhammad. So the issue of making mistake does not arise. In fact, they are supposed to be the one to be telling the Arab, to be telling people of Mecca and Medina about him, because they have learned about him before him. There was an incident that happened before Prophet Muhammad became prophet. Prophet Muhammad and Abu Bakr, they normally go on business trip from Mecca to Sham, to Syria. They went one day, and when they reached the place, Abu Bakr was supposed to go and do something. Then Prophet Muhammad sat on a stone. Then he was not a prophet. He was less than 40 years at that time, maybe 30 something. Then one of the Ahbar of the Banu Israel, he invited Abu Bakr. He said, "Who is that man sitting on that stone?" He said, "He is Muhammad bin Abdullah bin Abdul Muttalib." He said he is going to be a prophet. And when Allah mentioned in Surah Al-Aqaf about the one who Allah has guided, that is, the scholar said it is actually referred to Abu Bakr. In other words, Abu Bakr have seen the sign of prophet in Prophet Muhammad, even his character alone, and also he has had some information about him. Immediately he said, "I am a prophet." He did not waste time in believing because he knows he's going to be a prophet. So the man said, "This man is going to be a prophet." He said, "Why?" He said, "Look at that stone where he sat. The last person that sat there is Prophet Isa. And since the time he died, or Allah raised him up, nobody has sat there except this man. And before Prophet Isa, nobody sits on that stone except prophets." So as if it is the sunnah of Allah that nobody will sit there. Even if you want to sit there, Allah will not make it easy for you to be able to sit there. Allah only make it easy for only the prophet, his prophet, to sit there. As if it's a sign to show the continuity of the prophets and to show that their message is same and they are from the same Allah. When Abu Bakr heard this, then he became convinced about the fact that Prophet Muhammad is going to be a prophet. So when the information came, when the message came, he did not waste time in believing in Prophet Muhammad. So where we have done is that they have known and they have read that Prophet Muhammad is coming at the end of time. And when they saw him, they recognized him, they identified him, they don't have a problem in doing that, but they disbelieved in him. They said, no, we are not going to believe him. Why did they do that? Because they expected it to be from their lineage. So they expected him to be from their what? From their lineage. And when that was not possible, and Allah had given Islam, and Prophet Allah had given them power in the land, and they believe if they are supposed to fight him openly, they are surely going to be what? To be subdued. Then they think the best thing to do is to pretend to be Muslims, when in the truth, they are, in fact, they are what? They are not Muslims. So that is why the category of munafiqun we have in Medina at that time, there are two. The munafiqun from the Banu Israel, from the Yahud, which we have just mentioned their story, and this is why they become munafiqun. And the munafiqun from the what? From the Arab. And that one is stems from where? From the failure of the Abdullah to become what? To become king. And when in one place when Allah described the Niffaq of the Arab, Allah said their own Niffaq is even more severe than the other Niffaq. And apart from this, Quran used different words, like we have said, another one of the words is used to describe it is what? Al-lazina fi qulubihim marad. Apart from this, Quran also describes them as what? Al-murjifuna fil majid. Those, the rumor monger. One of the characteristics of munafiqun is that what? They carry rumor. So you and I, we know the manner in which we carry rumor today. So some people may believe that, I know they carry rumor. What about on social media? Immediately you see any information, you don't care whether it is true or not, you share it. Is that not so? So a Muslim, somebody who have integrity, you don't share anything you yourself doesn't believe or trust. And anytime you are doubting anything, you don't share it. Even if it is just because you are doubting the authenticity, it's not for you not to share it. Because only Allah knows the number of people that will read it or have access to it, and it will change their belief, their belief. And who is the cause? You. So you are spreading rumor. This is one of the qualities of the munafiqun. And apart from this, we have people who are active rumor mongers, who are active rumor spreader. Immediately they hear anything, they will spread it. Sometimes they will not even hear anything, they will just assume. It's just an assumption from them. Something they assume from themselves, they will spread it as if it is truth. And another quality of these people, or our people of our time, is that immediately you hear a story, the way we treat lies we hear, rumors we hear, we treat it more special and we believe in it more than even the Quran. When they recite verses of the Quran to us and we understand the meaning, we don't take it serious like a story we have been told. You see somebody working seriously, working tirelessly on a rumor he has been told, as if it's going to be paid for it, yet it's not going to be paid. You'll be wondering what giving this kind of energy. That is shaitan. A Muslim, a mu'min, does not engage in spreading rumor. And a story that comes to you that you don't know authenticity, you don't spread it, you don't share it. Allah mentioned Surah Al-Hujurat. إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا أن تصيبوا قوما بجهالة فتصبحوا على ما فعلتم. When a story comes to you, you should not start to spread that story, no matter the way it comes to you, whether through social media or through an individual. Find out, is it authentic, is it true, is it valid, before you even believe it, before you spread it. Because anything you spread, you must believe it. If you say, I don't know, then that is foolishness. Sometimes some people don't even have time to read message that is sent to them. They don't even read it. Their own is what? Mr. Shiara. They don't care about reading it. They just want to know that I'm also a good sharer. They want people to know that they also share. What you will share in this world and it become a case for you on the day of Qiyamah or in your grave. This is not actually a good thing. So apart from this, Quran also describes what? Al-Mustazihun. So like we just mentioned, Surah Al-Baqarah. Another quality of the munafiqun is that they mock, especially Muslims. They mock. They mock Muslim, they mock Islam, they mock Prophet Muhammad, they mock Quran, they mock anything related to the Quran. They belittle the sha'ahir of Allah. When they tell them this is Quran, this is Azeez, this is what Prophet said, it does not make anything, it doesn't move them. What did Allah say about the mu'minun in Surah Al-Anfal? Allah said, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ إِذَا تُلِيَتْ عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتُهُ زَادَتْهُمْ. Before they said, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ إِذَا ذُكِرَ اللَّهُ وَجِلَتْ قُلُوبُهُمْ وَإِذَا تُلِيَتْ عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتُهُ زَادَتْهُمْ إِيمَانًا وَعَلَى رَبِّهِمْ يَتَوَكَّلُونَ. Al-Mu'minun, Allah said they are the people that when the verse of Quran is revealed unto them or is recited unto them, it what? It will increase their iman. In other words, it will move them. There's another description Allah gave to the Munafiqun at the end of Surah Al-Tawbah, that when they were in a sitting with the prophets and the verse of Quran is revealed, they say, Ayyukum zadatu hadhihi imana. What does it mean? This one does not increase us in anything. Our problem in this society is more than this. You are just sitting there in masjid discussing. So don't you know problem people are facing in what is it? In where they are fighting Boko Haram? So now you are talking about Quran. We have bigger problem than that. He said this one, that is not a problem. Don't you know our economic situation in Nigeria today? So Quran doesn't move them. And I say for the mu'minun, when the verse of Quran is repeated unto them, it will increase their iman. They were moved. Allah also said similar thing in Surah Zumar. And when they remember Allah, their heart will shake. Anything related to Allah, Islam, Quran, Muhammad, Quran, it moved them. They have become fearful. They don't feel safe. Today when you say somebody fear Allah, you say, Surun kana kejama? You say, is it you? when they said fear Allah, I said, now you had a fear before. Which means he doesn't even know the meaning. The Sahaba, even Prophet Muhammad, when he's told fear Allah, who fear Allah most? Prophet Muhammad. But when he saw that, it increased in iman. The Sahaba, anybody that tells them that, they will appreciate it, they will be very happy. Thank you for this remembrance. For us today, and that is a sign of munafiq actually. For us today, when somebody says fear Allah, we see it as insult. We see it as if somebody is condemning us, that you are not a righteous person. We don't see it as a good, we don't compliment, we don't see it as a compliment, or as a dawah, or as a nasiha. We don't see it as such. So for a good Muslim, when somebody says fear Allah, you even appreciate it and you become fearful. You inspect yourself. Have I done anything wrong? Am I fearing Allah truly, or am I not fearing? You not become belligerent, you not be fighting the person. You say, now you had a fear before? Or you say, that mommy, in the chicken. I always fear Allah. So this is not a Muslim. So when the word Allah is mentioned, members of Allah, your iman increases. You feel fearful of Allah. If we don't behave this way, it means whether we like it or not, there's a problem with our iman. And the extent to which our iman has problem, that is the extent to which we are very close to Niffaq. So apart from this, Allah also described them as people who cause dissension in the society, who cause problem, enmity, who want people to fight. There are many events, many instances, like we've been mentioning it inshallah, like Allah mentioned about them. Anytime they see opportunity, they want to cause problem. And that is one of the reasons why Surah Al-Munafiqun is revealed. So they went on a battle. They call it the battle of Banu Mustalik. So an incident happened that between the Muhajirun and the Ansar, and a Munafiq he incites and he has the Ansar not to agree that these Muhajirun they are not serious. They came to Medina, you assisted them, you do this to them, and yet they are behaving to you this way. You should not allow them to remain in your land. When you go to Medina, you should send them out. So they say when you go to Medina, the eminent, those who matters, they are going to remove those who are below, who are inferior. They are referring to the Muhajir. Who said this speech? A Munafiq. One of the Sahaba had this, and he went to Prophet Salah and he reported to him. Prophet invited him. That did you say this? He said, no, I didn't say it. And Prophet allowed the matter to die. There is one lesson to learn here. The lesson is that Prophet is a what? Is a judge. So it doesn't actually need any special court. Anytime, anywhere a case arrives, Prophet become a judge, and he judge according to the Sharia. So what he did here is actually what? It's a legal matter. So something we take to a court. So Prophet said he allowed the man to go. He didn't do anything. And do you know why he did that? The reason is that when somebody make an allegation that somebody has done something, the body of proof lies on him. You are supposed to bring evidence that what you have said is true. If you don't bring evidence, then the person you have alleged, which is the defendant, he must assume or admit what you have alleged him of. If you say somebody have done something and the person admitted, then everything is okay. But if he did not admit, then you have the responsibility of producing what? Evidence. The body of evidence, the body of proof lies on you. If you cannot produce evidence, then we will treat the matter as if it doesn't exist. The matter will be treated as if it does not what? That is why everybody is assumed innocent. If anybody take you to court that you have done something, and there is no sufficient evidence that you have done it, even if you have done it, nobody will do anything to you, except with evidence. That is exactly what Prophet did here. Then Allah revealed what? Verse of Quran that it actually happened. And this is what they said. So I've been notified that our time is up. Inshallah, we'll stop on this note. We'll continue from there next week. May Allah make it easy for us. Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdik. Inshallah la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala Muhammad bin Abdullah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man tabi'ahum bi ihsan ila yawmin la yanfa'u malun wa la banun illa man ata Allah bi qalbin salim. Amma ba'd. As we conclude today's lecture, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to preserve our stars from form of goodness and grant him more good healthy in life, and then grant him the paradise in the hereafter. And also the listener who are listening to the lecture also grant us the paradise in the hereafter, inshallah. So in order not to waste our time, we will entertain questions so that we will not waste. In the absence of question, we'll call it a day at this juncture and continue by next week, inshallah. The lecture will continue as we are in school. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us upon our exam ongoing and grant us success and let us get the flying colors, results, and good days we desire for. Subhanahu wa ta'ala, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.
Alaikum salam.